Live again, Brenda. Hi, my name is Charlie Collins. I'm an international speaker, a certified professional success coach. More importantly, I'm a husband and a father, and grateful to be with you tonight.
Hey, Charlie. My name is Brenda, and I'm from timeforattend.com, emotional awareness coaching. I'm a mom, I'm a sister, and I just love doing this stuff with Charlie.
Great. So, what we're going to do tonight is that we're just going to have a continuation, a little bit more on the surface level of that inner feeling. Of course, I misspelled it. I misspelled boil. No, blood. Kind of
Well,
wrote the word blood boiling, but boil. And I was fine because I was rushing to get out the door. Right. Okay. There's a clue right there. I was going to do a presentation in Newton, Mass, and as I'm in Massachusetts, I get a text from my daughter that says, "Dad, you spelt this wrong on the title," which it might even say it right now. And I said, "Thank you. You just got my blood boiling." As it and it was a joke because she can't. I mean, unless I give her that power. But what it was I took responsibility in the moment. I didn't proof anything. I was rushing to get out the door, and I wanted to get this scheduled so I could come home. I got home this afternoon, and you and I could jump on and do it. Do you have any experience with rushing and then wanting to blame and complain about making a mistake or something going wrong?
absolutely none, Charlie. I always do things perfectly. No experience with that. Sorry. Of course I do. Of course I do. And how difficult was it to learn that that's how we learn, by making mistakes? Like if
Yeah.
you think back on your successes, like when I think back on my successes, I can't remember how I got venture capital funding for my .com company, but I remember how I lost that company. I remember the mistakes because I learned from them.
I yes, I hear you there. Sometimes we're gonna go into shame and guilt and stuff in this series, but definitely that sticks with me more than successes. What I did wrong, and what unfortunately, but that's a great tool to use for us to grow and move away from back into the space where that we can be creating and doing good work again.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Um, so last week, Brenda, we talked about kind of whether it's shopping, driving, or in the home, dealing with kids or spouses, partners, just the environment and that we are day to day in. And I'm not talking about going to a concert and dealing with long lines to get in and too loud the music, whatever. Not that. I'm mostly talking our day to day lives, things we do, whether it's grocery stores, drug stores, hardware stores, on the road. And when we start feeling just, I'm no longer present. I am no longer in my body, like just okay with doing. I'm the one who made the decision to go here, do this, go shopping, drive to work, walk to work, whatever it might be, and all of a sudden it's not working out the way somehow I thought it should. And I start feeling tension maybe, or I feel myself not thinking about anything but what outside of me is bothering me, and I'm starting to assign meaning to the people, the clerks, the people in cars, whatever is outside of me. I'm starting to assign meaning to. They are the reason my blood is starting to boil.
Yep. Done the same thing. So that's activation. That's activation of the amygdala part of your brain. And when I start to get into that place where the slow guy at the grocery store is pissing me off, or the person who cut me off is pissing me off, and then I start to churn about it because I want what I want in the moment, I continue to activate that amygdala. It gets more activated, more activated, more activated. So I like to talk about something called pause, process, and proceed with purpose. Those are my P's. And there's promises in those P's. And what I mean by that is when I recognize that I'm starting to get that way, when you're standing in the grocery store and you're watching that person count the money really slow, like we talked about last week, I know when I'm starting to get activated. If I could take a second right then and there, just be present with my body because I feel it coming on, and just pause. That's the first step, just to pause and then kind of process what's going on in front of me. Like, what's going on here, Bren? Why are you getting activated? What, do you have somewhere to be? What's going on with you? Because it's really not the guy in front of me who's counting the money slow. It's really not the guy in the highway. It's something in me that's bothering me, right? I'm just projecting that out to that circumstance. So I take a minute, I pause, I kind of process what's going on with me in the moment. And then I have an opportunity to proceed with purpose. At that moment, I have a choice. I can either continue to get upset, right? Continue to allow the activation to occur. And we know what happens when we do that. Nothing good, right? Nothing good. I make a jerk out of myself. I huff out of the store. I've done that. But now you have a choice. You can go one of two directions. You can proceed with purpose if you choose to.
Yeah. That's okay. So I don't want to do that. I'm very well practiced at getting angry, at feeling my blood boil, blaming the lady, the man, the person, uh, the idiot that pushed their cart near my car or it slid into it. This one, that. So I'm collecting. So don't you find that when we go into the space of not taking responsibility, because I have the ability to respond to anything within me and outside of me, and we all do. I don't mean I do. I'm special. I remember learning that. I was pissed, but I'm like, what? I can't. You mean it's not their fault? And so say I don't want to pause. I'm just gonna move through. I'm gonna be a little grumpy. I'm gonna be a little mean to the clerk. It always goes to stores, but I think people can relate to that. And I'm not gonna I'm gonna get out to my car and then that stupid carriage and this one and I'm trying to back out and somebody's walking slow and then I'm out on the road and then I'm collecting everything that's going wrong outside of me. And I'm not seeing it in me. I'm justified to be angry right now because people are idiots, you know? And then I'm home and don't you find that I mean part of us sometimes that kind of goes away because you go home and you have a night, but does it really? Because if it's happening, if we're the type of people that, oh, well, I have a good experience at a store, I don't seem to get upset, but eight other times I did, but then I have a good experience. Don't you find that once you start that amygdala, that almond sized little bit of thing in the brain, when it takes charge, it's a powerful little center. When
Yeah,
it takes charge, don't you find that you kind of attract it the rest of the day? When you don't take responsibility, it seems that you have a radar that looks out for what's wrong with the day and the people around you.
absolutely. And that's what I mean. If you don't pause and take care of it, if you don't make that decision, and it's really, you just kind of have to surrender to this is the way it's going to be. I'm going to get activated and I need to do something about it because what you said is exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to go project that everywhere I go until I deactivate it. I could either get sick and tired of being sick and tired that day, right? Or I can take care of it in the moment. And there's things that you can do, Charlie, to take care of it. One of the most powerful things I learned how to do is when I start having this flood of negative emotion. So I can say, well, this guy's taking so long to count this money out. I want to get out of this store. And I'm so grateful I found what I was looking for today. I'm so glad they had it. So you balance it out, the negative self-talk with a positive self-talk in the moment. And it kind of balances, it causes a shift to start happening. So I've kind of trained myself, and it's just a matter of discipline to do that. Like when something negative starts to pop up, like 1, I might not catch it. 2, maybe not. 3, 4, and 5, I'm like, okay, I got to do something differently now. Because I look at my brain objectively now. You know what I mean? I could either jump in the sandbox and play with all this stuff and lose. I'll lose every time, right? Or jump in the ring, I should say. I'll lose every time. Or I can outsmart it, right? I call it, you know what I call it, my itty bitty, you know what, crappy committee. Or I can outsmart it. And you could also do a grounding exercise. Like there's a whole bunch of different grounding exercises you could do just to take your mind off that train that's running from the amygdala. It's going Mach 5, right? You can rub your hands together, you can rub your legs and just feel the sensations. You can do the nostril breathing in one side, out the other. I get so focused on making sure that I'm, breathing in and breathing out, I forget about what it was that was annoying me. Things like that, just move a muscle, change a thought.
Hmm.
What do
And
you
we
think?
don't know. Like, I'm legally blind, and so I was sensitive. And when I got into line, or I put myself out there, like, in the public. And back in the I mean, nowadays, we barely pay with cash anymore, but I used to be so afraid to count change because I can't really see it. And if
Mm,
my bills, and I'd have to hold it up close, and I know the person behind me is going, "What's wrong with this idiot? Would he forget his glasses?" Now, I don't know that, but I'm thinking it.
yeah.
Now I'm getting mad at him for thinking about me, but I don't know if he really is. And then I'm mad the clerk's kind of going, "Did you forget your glasses today?" And I would say, no, did you forget your brain?" But I would say, no, I have an eye dis oh, people I don't think intentionally want to be slow, want to hold up lines, want to be a burden to us. And I used to be so, like, I would try to be the fastest because I knew the people behind me, if they were anything like me, they don't have patience. But I found out, once I started taking responsibility, those people are busy taking care of thinking good thoughts about, what a wonderful opportunity. I got to come to the store. I got everything I needed, and I got this one deal, buy one, get one free. I'm not focused on the gentleman in front of me who's taking 8 seconds longer than I want him to. I'm not focused on that. I'm in a good space. And it's like, when I made the shift in life, I realized, first of all, people aren't thinking about me. People aren't judging every move I do. Yeah, I make mistakes. I'm sure I piss people off sometimes. Good. Time for a 10. And, that's fine. What a paradigm shift in the mind when we do that. And I want to jump into, because we talk about the problem. The problem is, it's going to spill out when we don't take care of this. It's going to come out of us at our family. We maybe are going to complain about the store experience, and when we become those people that puke that stuff out onto people because we just got to get it out, we need you to believe us. We need you to, like, join our committee. Join our Ain't It Awful Club. It really sucks having to go to stores and live a life with independence and have a driver's license and all that. And we want you to say, "Yeah, that sucks, man. I can't believe that person was like that." But you get live in a healthy home. That person's like, "Dude, I don't want to hear this story. Do something about it." you know, that's the type of thing. So if we don't take this, the problem only gets bigger. You know, the problem just it starts showing up in the way I treat my wife, or the way my dog. What is he barking at? Like, what, he should know I don't want him to bark because I'm irritated right now. It's like, whew, that being is not someone I want to be or I want to be around.
Right? Me neither. And it does escalate.
I don't know why I don't find it funny. So I want to show you a couple. I'm trying to get my mouse to work. I'm going to put a slide on the screen. Hopefully.
What do you got, Charlie?
This is live. This is crazy because I can't make mistakes. Of course I can, but
Well, you can and you will.
stop it. All right. So we want to take 100% responsibility. So again, we're going to go through the formula quick, but I wanted to bring it in. I do a presentation. I do several, but one of them's learn to see. But as I keep thinking about it, I might call it wake up. But we want to take not 95% responsibility, because that 5% is what's going to take it down. That 5% is going to grow to become the 95, because for some weird reason, we just attach to what's wrong and not what's right. That's the human condition. So here's that formula I talked about: E plus R equals O. And the events is what we blame. We blame the store, the cars, everything outside of us. I don't blame the way I'm looking at it, I'm thinking about it. I blame outside of me because what you've done, that person pissed me off. My daughter, I remember when my kids would come home, like, my teacher is so stupid. They did this and that, and she really pissed me off. I'm like, really? And then, joking around. Now, how's that possible? You gave your power to
Yep.
that person and you allowed them the opportunity to rent space in your head. And then you got to think with it, noodle with it, and get more upset. I got to find my little arrow. Yeah, we're definitely going to fix this. Anyway, I love being live.
I do too. It's fun.
So, again, we blame the event. And when you blame, when you as in us, me, Brenda, all of us, I mean anyone that's honest, when I'm in an event, I say, has anyone in this room ever blamed anyone or anything? And like most hands kind of go up slowly, like, I'm embarrassed. And it's like, please, if your hand's not up, you're a liar. And what does it do when it's powerless? You're giving away your power. Three things that we have complete control over, which I'm going to show in a second. So we don't want to do that. Then we go to the next. So we want to stop blaming the government, this, that. Well, maybe. Well, okay, I won't go there.
I
But
don't know, not
we
blaming
wa-
the
we
government,
don't want to blame our teachers, the doctors, the weather. We don't want to blame the people in cars, the eye doctor that can't fix my eyes, all the things that I used to blame. What we want to do is, so we want to stop blaming, complaining, rationalize, justifying, defending our position, and making excuses, right? And this is a lot. I'm just going through it quick with you guys because we want to take power. I don't like the outcome. I don't like the way I feel. I don't like the way my blood is boiling. I don't like the tension in my body. I don't like how I'm feeling restless and irritable. I don't like this stuff. And so, and blaming the event doesn't solve the problem, right, Brenda?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And what about, the R is the big one for me. Don't you feel like you have to respond to everything? Like, why do I need to respond to everything? An event happens and I can kind of skip over the response if I choose to and not give my power away. I don't need to respond to everything. It could just be, it is what it is, and skip the drama of the response.
If that's giving you the outcome that
Exactly.
you desire in that event, in that environment, then that's a wonderful practice. Why do I have to noodle this? Why do I have to figure it out? I don't. It just is. Somebody's slow in the store. It doesn't bother me at all. I'm busy thinking about good things. I don't even notice it. That's the part that, because then I don't have to work so hard on, okay, I'm starting to feel this way. I got to do this. I got to pause. It's like, now I don't even notice all that tension around me because there really isn't any unless I create it.
Exactly.
So the power, what can we do? We can take power. We can take the power back by having the ability to respond. That's what responsibility means. And when you take 100%, act as if everything throughout your day is your responsibility. So if you trip on a sidewalk, yeah, there's a crack in it. Yep, the concrete, I'm talking about me, it happens to me. The concrete is tipped up and I trip and I almost fall, but I don't. And it's like, I'm going to sue the town. Who's the idiot that I can build the whole case around I'm going to get even. Or I can say, I chose to take this sidewalk. I was not paying attention. I was looking off to the left. I tripped. I am responsible. It's okay. It's just a trip. I've done many.
Exactly. And that's where you nail it, where you don't even blame yourself. It's just, I tripped.
Yeah.
It's just, I tripped. Oh, well.
And then, as you can see from my slide, I just emphasized the power is in how we respond. It's not in the outcome, because that's the past. Like, I'm feeling this way, and it's not in the event. I can't change the event. I'm not in charge of the director or arranging the whole world. I cannot. Brenda, you and I both. We know what it feels like. To become that person who falls victim to the belief that we can wrest satisfaction. and happiness on the grocery store if everybody in there manages well. They're fast, they're kind, they smile at me, they tell me how great I am. They don't, things are all on sale. I don't have to spend too much. It's just a wonderful experience.
Yep.
Then I'm happy.
Yep.
And that's
I'll be happy when you behave the way I want you to behave.
All right, so we're going to get out. These are all little quotes. So here are the three things I wanted to talk about. I don't want to talk about. I want to make a statement. Brenda talked about it. She says pause. She says proceed and process.
And then proceed with purpose.
And there's a promise in there. You will not feel like I need to rip someone's head off. So anyway, what is that? That means, what is that about? That means you have the ability, you have complete control in your life, 100%. The thoughts you hold in the environment or the event you're standing in, you have complete control over what you think about that.
Yep.
Guarantee. Behave. I maybe make a little sigh. I do an eye roll. I go, or if someone's with me, geez, I guess we're going to be here all day. Nana's taking forever. And that's so kind right there. But I want to self-seek. I want to make sure they know I'm perturbed that I'm not getting my way in this moment. So I don't want to behave that. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to behave that way. I watch people that behave ridiculous at times. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, you need some coaching. But then I think, oh my gosh, I probably was like that sometimes. But for the grace of God go I. And then the images. Brenda, you talked about it. Why not stand in line and think about, I had a wonderful experience today. I got good prices. I got everything I needed. As a matter of fact, I got buy one, get one free. I have a beautiful car, a home. I'm happy. My kids are, I mean, you can go play that story. Those are the images we hold. And we can control that. Instead of seeing, I know there's going to be a carriage in the side of my car. I know, when we start building that story. So,
and Charlie, I just want to throw one thing in here because this is a tool that works for me when I'm having a really hard time with something. We all go through stuff, right? And when I'm having a really hard time with something and I'm in victim mode, poor me, and things aren't going the way I want, or somebody hurt my feelings, I sit back and I think about all the beautiful people in my life, all of the people that are in my life that love me and that I love back. And you know what? There are some nights when I'm doing that and I fall asleep before I can do the whole list because there's so many. There's so many people around us. Beautiful people that the universe has sent us. We're blessed to have them.
Absolutely. So we pause. I want to think now. Last week I talked about the elastic, and that's because I might not. This is so. There's 100 emotions, right? So it could be emotions. People base decisions. We talked about it last week. If we base our decisions how we feel all the time, so that's why in these situations when I'm starting to feel this tension in my body that I'm not taking responsibility for, that I'm looking outside of me and blaming that guy, then we have this emotion brewing in us, whether it's anger, whether it's resentment, whether it's fear, I'm not going to get to where I need to be on time, whatever the compilation of, but we're going to base what we say, how we look, the tension in our face at people, how we pay the clerks, maybe going to get the brunt of it, I mean, and instead, why can't we? Is it possible to think greater than you feel? So bring emotion in. I'm feeling this way. Is it anyone's fault? No. Okay, what can I do in that pause, right? What would you kind of say? Would you catch yourself and say, uh-oh, I'm starting to portray the problems outside of me?
I would. And, when I pause, I take that moment to challenge my reality because, again, I'm not really agitated because the person in front of me is slow. I probably walked in the store agitated, right? It's like I'm looking for something to blame that on. I'm looking for something to get rid of how I'm feeling. And now that's a really good way to do it. That person in front is holding me up. Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
I challenge my reality. Is this really what's going on? It doesn't matter if it takes me 5 minutes or 10 minutes to get out of the store. Does it really matter? No. So what's really going on? What's really going on? And that's what I pause and take a look at. I'm really pissed at my boyfriend today. He did something I didn't like. I walked in the store that way. It's really not the clerk. Or I'm worried about my child. Or I didn't get what I wanted. Someone hurt my feelings. Could be a million different things. But that's really going in and figuring out, and it doesn't take long to do it because you already know what's bothering you. You just don't want to feel it. And a lot of times when we don't want to feel the real feeling, the uncomfortable feeling, that's what we'll do. We'll find something small, we'll blow that up into a big deal, and then we'll act out on that with some kind of self-seeking behavior, whatever it is. So, here's the thing with feelings. People don't like to feel uncomfortable feelings. I don't. But what I've learned is if I let that feeling express itself, it's like a cloud. I just let it express itself. I embrace it. Sometimes I even ask it what it's there to teach me. All right, sadness, what are you here to teach me? And I wait for the answer, right? I allow myself to experience the emotion and then it passes and I'm not doing all that other crazy stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's where coaching comes in, because you and I mean, that's what I do with working with clients. We're talking this just catching me at a gas station, me just kind of navigating my day. But I'm finding that I've got to work. Well, you talked about it. I've got to work so hard at like not getting angry, and it's like, okay, I'm doing okay, but oh my gosh, doesn't it become a natural thing? Can I be in a different space and just enjoy life more without tension of worrying about how people are acting? And so this stuff will help, snap the elastic band, do some breathing, whether you go through one nostril or the other. Snap, snap, clap, breath. I mean, that might be weird in line. People turn around and go, what the heck? But let's do something. Kind of tap your feet or, slap on your legs when you're standing. Kind of, get back. Oh, I'm here. I'm standing here. There's nothing wrong. The building's great. The lighting's on. There's electricity. It's heat. Wait a minute. Whoa. But you just, something you and I do with coaching is then there's the ones that it's helping, but it's not sustaining. The next day comes or the next event. And oh boy, I gotta pause. I gotta think about, okay, what am I, it's like, can I ever, because I can go throughout the day without any disruption of my, like, nothing, nobody has the power to bother me all day long. I don't get it. It's like absolutely perfect. I was just there. It was in Newton, Massachusetts at the very first Stargardt Summit. That's what my eye disease is. And there were almost 1,500 people registered virtually and about 130 in a room. And I presented and I met people, and there's all walks of people. There's short, there's people that speak really slow, walk slow, use blind canes. Get out of my way. None of that was present. I just was a part of the greater whole. I just was a part of something that was bigger than me. I didn't feel tension. I never got irritated. I didn't think that person should. It was all gone. I didn't have to work these. I didn't have to call you and say, I'm about ready to choke this blind dude.
You're in the flow.
Right. So, but that's what coaching does, right? Because like you said, I could be mad at something from 23 years ago.
Could be.
I could be mad at something. My boss, I didn't get the promotion and I worked hard at it, but did I really? Was I only thinking of me? You know what I mean? And as we work with people, we start really getting down to the deep core issues that show their faces in the grocery store line. It's like, and did you ever say, why am I getting so upset? It's not even that big of a deal.
For sure. For sure. And with practice, and that's the beautiful thing about coaching, right? Because what you're doing is you're reflecting back to the person what they're showing you. You're reflecting back and then you're asking them to challenge that reality, right? And they already know anyway. So you're really just helping them navigate something that they already know. And over a period of time, you start to say to yourself, like you were talking about with taking your power back, I don't want to give my power to that today. I'd prefer to feel good. So you start to observe your behavior, your thinking. You start to observe yourself getting agitated, and you can stop and say, yeah, I don't think I'm going to play today. I just don't think I'm going to play today. And you move past it. So over a period of time, you start to recognize it and you get to make a choice. I'm just not even going to engage with it. And then what happens, which is really cool, you learn how to do that with people, places, and things. I'm not going to engage with that. Somebody else is being a jerk. You can say, yeah, it's not my stuff. I'm not going to engage with that. And you can do it in a compassionate way, not a judgmental or blaming way like you were talking about. And that's just takes practice. Takes practice. So it's not always really hard work. Some days I'm just going to suck no matter what. That's just the way it is. But yeah, it comes easier over time, don't you think?
Yes, I mean that I would. First of all, the old me, first of all, would have been scared. Well, I wouldn't have been invited to the event. Let's just get to the truth right out of the gate. But okay, so then I'm starting to get better, and I'm doing some good things out there. I'm trying to help people and all that, and I get invited. But I would have been like a little. I would have been afraid. I had dinner with people I don't normally know. Went to meetings with people. I'm very comfortable. But I would have had tension. The whole like I would have like, well, I wonder how's it going to work out? What are they going to think of me? Am I going to say the right things? And why are they even inviting me? Do I really have anything to offer? Because I had so many years of beating on myself that it liked to come out when I tried to step outside that comfort zone. But if I'm getting angry in my familiar comfort zone, if I'm feeling my blood boil, which is just navigating your normal day to day activities, you might want to, take a deeper look at that. Now, practice what we've been teaching you for sure. I mean, I do it. I know Brenda does it in her life. I'm not a guy that reads a book and then teaches it. I'm a guy that reads a book, implements it, gets results, then I share it.
Me too.
I don't mean a book. It could be a seminar. It could be I hired a coach. I hired whatever, a spiritual leader, some sort of something to help me. Because next week, Brenda, I'd like to talk about the wheel of life, and kind of look at relationships and career and purpose and what we're doing in different areas, spirituality, and what this is so cool because it gives clues. Oh, I am focused mostly on my career, not on family or relationship. And when you have this wheel and you have numbers, you rate each area. Think of a bicycle wheel that some of the spokes and everything are shorter. It's the wheel of life. It doesn't mean you have to be balanced, perfectly balanced. It means you need to see. So, I got to put a little tension in this area, and because I don't, it kind of triggers me during the day, and then I'm walking into the store, I'm blaming, you know what I mean? You start putting the tangled web starts coming, and you start seeing the puzzle get put together, like, oh, because everybody, men and women, like, I think, like, you talk about compassion in your voice, and I'm like, I don't have that. I mean, I don't have it as easy. I'm a little bit more rough around the edges when I don't have as much patience and stuff. And then I think, but is it possible to go outside my home and live a life of joy, of bliss, of contentment, of I am worthy, I belong here, you know? Yes.
Absolutely. Me too. Me
And
too.
yeah, and so what we are doing these. They are going to be a weekly thing until it becomes something else. And Brendan and I will discuss and bring to you experiential knowledge of training and life experiences. Every so often, we'll bring in special guests to talk about an area they're an expert in. Whether I have a buddy who's a postural specialist, and wouldn't be you'd be amazed at how posture adds to irritation, how bad posture, I should say, how these things trigger negative emotions and thoughts. It's like I'm blown away by this stuff. But thankfully, it's a constant, never ending contentment and improvement. You know what I mean? It's amazing. So we're gonna bring guests in. We're gonna bring to you. We hope it's valuable content, and that you can come back each week live, and we will open up the chat as we get better with this platform. Look at Brenda. You remember her last week? She was like an inch big, and she was blurry, and you could barely hear her. Now
got new equipment. Yep.
So we want to play full out, and we want you to play full out with us. So, any last remarks, closing words of wisdom, Brenda?
You know what? I just want to emphasize something you said, that we practice this stuff, and we do. And because what we do on a daily basis is check in with ourselves and take a look at what's going on with us, we're not causing harm out in the world like we used to. Most days are pretty good days.
And exactly. And when I'm not doing that, and then seeing what I don't like about me and others, and then I'm mad at them for showing me, but I don't know that model. I think that, hey, don't do that. And it's like what I'm seeing in others is what I don't like within me. So
Yeah.
thank you for helping me see something that's unresolved in me.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing I wanted to say is keep in mind, if that stuff piles up and you don't take care of it, that's when we have explosions. That's why it's important to take care of it on a regular basis. Even the small disturbances, the little ones, the big ones, and all the ones in between. It doesn't take that long once you get in the habit of doing it.
Right. And again, think about water on the stove. You got it in the pan, and it's coming to boil, and then it boils, and then you go, and then you hear something and go, "Oh." And you run. What happens? It boils over. What does it do? Not only does it cause a problem, it burns the stove top. It messes up it causes all sorts of problems. But as we see the water boiling, we adjust. We take responsibility. We move the lid a little. We let more air out. We turn the temperature down. You know what I mean? That's that principle. I mean, I have not taken responsibility. I've boiled over, and then I am exhausted at the end of the day, wondering, why am I so tired? I didn't even work out today.
Yep, me too. Me too. This has been great, Charlie. Thank you.
You're welcome. You have a wonderful evening. And thank you all for attending, whoever you all are right at this moment. Brenda and I are going to get better managing, and we hope that you will come see us next Friday. Peace out.
Peace out. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, I have to end it.
Push the